deuces and aces are nice and dandy. Win big on the money cards, and you get all the candy. It's Card Sharks! And now the master of the cards, Jose Cazares.
Thank you very much, Scott, for that opening poem. And what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to another exciting edition of Card Sharks here on the Sleepy Time Studios on the MVG Network. We're so glad to have you here with us once again. Well, if you were not with us on our last show, we officially made history by retiring our first ever champion, Will Medina. So he picked up 5 wins in a row, and on the second game, we crowned ourselves a new champion, and he is back with us to defend his title. He currently has 1 win under his belt, and a total so far of $21,700 for the season. Let's welcome back Mr. Aaron Glenn. Well, Aaron, glad to have you back with us once again. You've had a bit of time to have you had some time to take in what just happened? Because you were up against your first opponent was Russ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a good game. Actually, I thought I was gonna win, to be honest, but I was surprised.
Well, it kind of looked like Russ was gonna overtake you there, but just those cards decided to shift over to your side. But you're defending, and all you got left to ask is, you ready to meet your next opponent?
I'm ready.
All right, well, let's go ahead and I wish you the best of luck, and let's welcome him in. It's believe it or not, his very first time playing on our show. From one of our friends up north, that being our northern neighbors of Canada, let's welcome in Mark Leota.
Hello.
Yeah, we're 12 episodes in, and this is your first time. But, hey, we're always glad to have new contestants on, so why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm 35 years old, and of course a big video game enthusiast, and just recently returned from a nice vacation in Italy.
Ah, okay. You see any of the landmarks that were over there?
Not see the Leaning Tower of Pisa this time, and I almost butchered that. But I did saw a few nice things. So yeah, overall it was a very nice time away, but I am glad to be back here playing games once again with the MVG crew.
All right, well, in any case, you're up against a good champion here in Aaron. Ready to see if we can try and take him down?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's have fun.
All right, the best luck to you, and of course, good luck to both players. Of course, you know the object of the game is to make your way to the end of the board by correctly calling high-low across the board. As soon as I can find my English, I can assure you we will get through this game much quicker.
I'm not the only one that butchered my words, or almost did.
Anyways, apparently it's contagious. But anyways, the first one of you to make your way across the end of the board wins the round. It takes 2 round wins to win a match, and that person becomes the champion and goes on to the money cards, where they can win up to $32,000 in cash. But in order to get control of the cards, you need to correctly answer a high-low toss-up question. With that said, let's get right to our game. First question of round number 1, and the champ will get it. So, Aaron, this one's for you. Oh my, are we really starting with this one?
Oh boy.
Okay. Aaron, we asked 100 librarians, have you tried marijuana? How many said that they had?
Wow. I think that number is going to be kind of low because I can't see librarians try to smoke weed like that. I'll say 13.
All right, he says 13 out of 100 have done it. Mark, higher or lower than 13?
Oh boy. Good question. I don't really see a whole lot of librarians smoking marijuana. Then again, nobody should smoke anything, period. But I will go a little bit higher.
All right, he says higher than that. Of course, if it is higher, Mark, you will get control of the cards first. If not, it'll be Aaron. But the actual number of librarians who have tried marijuana is 49. It is higher. My goodness, right up the middle there with that one.
Oh wow, almost half of them.
I'd be surprised with those librarians. Not always sane, but... Alright. So, Mark, you can control the cards first, and let's take a look at your opening base card. You have a 5. Now, you won the question, so you have the right to change it if you wish.
5. Fairly favorable card. I'll go higher.
Alright, keeping it going higher than the 5, it's a 9.
And that is where I am going to freeze.
Alright, freezing it right there, taking the 1 card advantage and keeping Aaron away from his cards. And that now brings us to our second question of the round, and Mark, this one is yours.
Lay it on me.
That's what she said. Anyways,
Oh.
come on, it's my show, I do whatever the heck I want. Anyways, we asked 100 lawyers, Mark. If you could do it all over again, would you still be a lawyer? How many said yes?
Gee, ooh, this is a tough one. Well, I was just mentioning Italy, and we have a relative on that portion of the family that happens to be a lawyer. So she'd probably know more about this than I would, but she's not the one playing the game now, is she? 73 of them.
All right, he says 73 would become lawyers all over again. Aaron, higher or lower than 73?
I'll go lower.
Alright, he says lower than that. The actual number of lawyers who, if they could do it all over again, would still become lawyers is 87. It is not lower.
Okay.
Hey, you gotta forget that you gotta remember these guys have a passion for their job, so if they could pursue it all over again, they would. Alright, but Mark, you have control and you have that 9.
No, we don't. I'm changing it.
Alright, of course you have the right to do so. The 9 goes away, and we replace it with a jack.
Okay, a little bit better. I've been burned by jacks before, but let's see what happens with this one. Lower, please.
Alright, lower than the jack. It's a 10.
Ooh. Okay, freeze.
Taking it one step at a time. Hey, whatever works for you. Now take a 2. Now taking a 2 card advantage. Once again, keeping Aaron away from his cards, and that now brings us to our third question of the round.
It's baby steps, Jose. That's all it is.
Anyways, Aaron, this third question goes to you. We asked 100 first grade children in Southern California, do you think your parents are old? How many said yes, Aaron?
I'm pretty sure a lot of them think that they're old. You know what? I have to do this, but let's play the middle game, 50.
And he's going with a trap card of 50 up the middle. Mark, higher or lower than 50?
Like someone's been studying the Book of Nells. Higher.
It's all part of the game, Mark. You just gotta accept it. Anyways, the actual number of first grade children in Southern California who do think their parents are old is 22. It is not higher.
I'm just messing with you, Aaron. So
I know.
Alright, so Aaron, you've got control of the cards for the first time. And let's see your opening base card. You have a 5 as well.
I'll keep it go higher.
Going higher than the 5? No, it's a 4! So you stay where you are, and that means Mark gets a free chance to play out the 10, but of course you cannot change it.
Lower.
Lower than the 10, it's an 8.
Oh my god, that snowman. Freeze right there.
Well, I'm noticing a pattern, folks. He just keeps going one card forward at a time, but it could work out.
Again, it's baby steps.
Alright, but that puts us in a very interesting situation as we are now at our 4th and final question of the round. Somebody has to win on this next play of the cards. And the question goes to Mark. Oh, God. Okay, Mark, we asked 100 men in their 70s. Again, this is 100 men in their 70s. Do you still feel sexy? How many said yes?
Oh my god. Oh.
Take that for what it's worth.
Okay. In their 70s, so they're essentially senior citizens at that point. That point, they probably wouldn't be thinking about sex as much as they probably would have when they were significantly younger. So I'd say 31.
31?
31.
Alright, he says 31 of them do believe that they still feel sexy. Aaron, higher or lower than 31?
I want to go higher than 31. I'll say higher.
Alright, he says higher. Alright, for all important control of the cards, the actual number of men in their 70s who do believe that they still feel sexy is 54. It is higher. Alright, so Champ, you are going to have the decision to make. That is a very interesting situation here. You have a 5 that you can change. You would have to sweep the entire board, but make one wrong move, and Mark would take round 1. However, you have control. You can pass and force Mark to play off the 8, which he cannot change. He has to call that 1 card correctly. If he doesn't, you take round 1. What do you want to do?
4 cards. Mark has an 8. You know what? I think I'm going to do what I got to do. Mark, good luck with that 8.
It's going to pass. All right. Mark, you cannot change this 8. You have to call this card correctly. Otherwise, Aaron takes round 1.
Okay, well, hopefully those baby steps that I've been taking will still be enough to get me over the finish line for this first game. I'm gonna go lower.
For game 1 of the match and $1,000, lower than the 8. No, it's a queen. Aaron wins. After all of that work, and Mark gets halted at the end there, and Aaron takes game number 1. You pick up another $1,000, bringing you up to $22,700 for your total. But wow, quite the ending to our first round. But of course, we're just getting started. Let's go ahead and clear the board and get things set up for our second round. All right, new round. First question will go to our challenger. So Mark, this first one is yours. Okay, this one's interesting. Mark, we asked 100 office workers. Have you ever accidentally sent an email to everyone in the company? How many admitted that they had?
Oh boy. Well, that depends on the content of the email. And I think I've seen stories on the internet about stuff like that happening. Particularly because if that email contains nasty things and it's sent to someone about someone, and it, yeah, that's not going to go over too well generally. 69.
Well, given that it's you, that doesn't surprise me one bit. All right, so he says 69 office workers have done that. Aaron, higher or lower than 69?
I got a feeling it might be lower, so let's go lower.
Alright, he says lower than that. The actual number of office workers who have ever accidentally sent an email to everyone in the company is 32. It is lower. Yeah, I would assume that they would be up to their senses about that, but... Alright. Aaron, you've got to control the cards first, and let's see your opening base card. You have a 6.
Change it.
Alright, changing it, the 6 goes away, and your new base card is a king.
Good. Lower.
Lower than the king? Oh my goodness, it's an ace, so no progress made there, unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
And that means Mark gets a free chance to play off his base card of a jack.
Lower, please.
Lower than the jack, it's an 8.
Oh, we're doing this again, huh? Freeze.
Well, you don't have to freeze it every time. That's ultimately up to you, but I digress. Anyways, Mark takes the 1 card advantage, freezes at that 8. Brings us to our second question of the round, and this one goes to Aaron. Alright, Aaron, we asked 100 Star Wars fans. Have you ever slept outside overnight to get tickets to a Star Wars movie? How many said that they had?
I'm pretty sure a lot of them have. Even though I'm not a Star Wars fan myself, but I'm gonna go 60.
60?
60, yeah.
Alright, he says 60 out of 100 have done this massive task. Mark, higher or lower than 60?
I think I have someone in here would answer this, but they're not here right now, so I'm going to have to try to do this the best that I can, even though I'm not really much of a Star Wars person. Although the new Lego Star Wars is really good. Buy it. Higher.
Say higher than that. Alright. Also, Mark, that shameless plug was unnecessary. This is my show, not yours. Anyways. The actual number of Star Wars fans who have ever slept outside overnight to get tickets to a Star Wars movie is... only 20! It is not higher! Yeah, not many of them would be that committed, honestly.
Okay.
Alright, so Aaron, you've got control and you have that king.
Let's try this again. Let's go lower.
Come on, let's actually give it to him this time. Lower than the king. There you go, it's a 10.
Okay, I'm gonna risk it and go lower.
Going on, lower than the 10. It's an 8.
Freeze on that snowman.
Freezing it right there, and he takes a 1 card lead over Mark and keeps Mark away from his cards. Alright. Now we go on to our third question of the round, and we are back to Mark for this one. Mark, we asked 100 waitresses. Have you ever spilled a plate of food into a customer's lap?
Oh.
How many of those waitresses admitted that they had?
Oh, boy. 50.
And now Mark is pulling the trap card of 50 in the middle. Alright, Aaron, higher or lower than 50?
I know sometimes that stuff can happen, but I don't think it happens that much, so I'm gonna go lower.
Alright, he says lower than that. The actual number of waitresses who have ever spilled a plate of food into a customer's lap is... 68. It is not lower.
Wow.
You gotta understand that that's a common thing. That can happen more often than you think.
True. Yeah.
And that's why, and that's the reason me and my family never go to those kinds of restaurants, with all due respect. But anyways, Mark, you have control and you have that 8.
Change that 8, please.
Changing the 8, it goes away. And your new base card is an ace.
There we go. That's what I want to see. Lower.
Lower than the ace, it's a jack.
Lower.
Going on, lower than the jack. It's a 4.
Higher!
To tie up the match and pick up another one. Not another. Golly, let me try this again. To tie up the match and pick up $1,000 higher than the 4? No, it's a 3. You lose all of that progress. You go back to the ace, and Aaron can breathe a sigh of relief there as he gets a free chance to play off his 8.
Let's go lower.
Lower than the 8? It's a 6.
Let's go higher.
He's going for it to pick up his second win and another $1,000. Higher than the 6? No, it's a 5! Nobody making any progress there. That is unbelievable. Both players denied at the final card. Oh my goodness. Alright, now if I'm not mistaken, we are now at our 4th question once again. So we are once again at sudden death. Aaron, the question goes to you. Alright, Aaron, we asked 100 people. If a magic genie appeared and offered to grant you one wish, would you wish for money? How many of those people said that they would wish for money?
That's gotta be a high number because a lot of people will probably want that, especially me though. But anyway, 75.
He says 75 out of 100 would wish for money. Mark, higher or lower than 75?
A little bit lower.
Going lower than that. Alright, for all important control of the cards, the actual number of people who, if a genie appeared and offered to grant them one wish, they would wish for money, is 40. It is lower. Not many people would be that greedy. Alright, so Mark, the decision is yours. Here's the situation. You have an ace. You would have to run through these 3 cards, and if you make one wrong move, Aaron would pick up his second win. However, you can pass and force Aaron to play off the 8, which he cannot change. He would have to go through 2 cards, and if he messes one of them up, you tie up the match. What do you want to do?
I'm going to try it myself, and I'm going to go lower than the ace.
Alright, taking matters into his own hands, keeping the ace, going lower. It's a 10.
Oh, and I can't freeze at this point, which sucks. Lower.
Lower than the 10. It's a 9.
As much as I don't want to, this is sudden death, which means I have to go on. Lower to keep myself alive. Whatever happens, good game, Aaron.
It's a once again, you said lower, right?
Lower, correct.
Alright. To tie up the match and pick up $1,000 lower than the 9, it's a deuce. We have a tie game!
There we go!
Alright, Mark, you made the right call there to play it in your own, to take matters into your own hands, and with that, you have now tied up the match at 1 apiece, which means we're going to have to decide this game through a tiebreaker round. So let's go ahead and clear the board and get everything set up for it. As you can see, players, 3 cards and only 1 question. The question always goes to the champion. So Aaron, it is yours.
Okay.
And what a way for our game to end here with a player percentages question. Alright, Aaron, here it is. According to a 2016 report in Time magazine, what % of girls in the US between the ages of 3 and 12 have owned a Barbie doll?
One more time. Can you repeat the question, please?
Of course. According to a 2016 report in Time magazine, what % of girls in the US between the ages of 3 and 12 have owned a Barbie doll?
I'm gonna go 55%.
Going 55%. All right. Mark, higher or lower than 55%?
Okay, repeat it one more time.
Hey, this is a long one, so I don't blame y'all for asking me to repeat. Here it is. According to a 2016 report in Time magazine, what % of girls in the US between the ages of 3 and 12 have owned a Barbie doll? Higher or lower than 55%?
And this is 3 to 12-year-old girls?
Yes, between the ages of 3 and 12 in the US.
Alright, well, I can imagine a lot of people in that age range probably would have played with Barbies, so higher.
Alright, he says higher. For all important control of the cards, the actual percentage of girls in the US between the ages of 3 and 12 who have owned a Barbie doll is 92%. It is way higher.
Yes.
Yep, quite a lot of them had. I would assume they would have had at least one. But anyways, Mark, you've got the decision. So I'm going to start by revealing both of your base cards, starting with Aaron's. He has a 4, and you have a king.
Okay.
Now, do you want to keep control for yourself, or do you want to pass it over to Aaron?
Ooh, well, Aaron has a good card, but there's two, but where I have a bit of an advantage here is there's only one thing that can hurt me, where two cards can hurt him. So I'm gonna play, and I'm gonna go lower than the king.
All right, Mark playing it. He is going lower than the king. It's a 5.
Higher.
To become the new champion and pick up another $1,000 higher than the 5, it's an ace. We have a new champion.
Okay, good game, Aaron. Good game.
Yeah, good game.
Well done to you, Mark. You pick up another $1,000 for winning the round. And you are up to the money cards for the first time with a total of $2,000. We'll be going over there in just a moment, but unfortunately, we gotta say goodbye to another champion. Well, Aaron, unfortunately, it was one and done once again. You won one, but then you got dethroned again. But hey, if anything, you added to your season score. Did you still have fun with this regardless?
Yeah, I had a good time.
Yeah. Well, you're definitely not leaving out of here empty-handed. You did pick up the 1,000 for the second round win. And you are comfortably sitting in the top 8 with a total of $22,700. So if your score does hold off, then we will more likely be seeing you in the Tournament of Champions. But we more than likely hope to have you back on a future episode.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be back soon.
All right, well that is Aaron Glenn, and Mark you have done it. You are now our new champion with $2,000, but we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, you're going to be taking on the money cards for your very first time. We'll be right back after this here on Card Sharks. Stay with us. Welcome back to Card Sharks. We're here with our new champion, Mark Leota, who picked up $2,000. But now, Mark, you've got an opportunity to add a whole lot more money to that total. You ready to do this?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go ahead and play the money cards. Now, of course, you know that we will start you off at the bottom row with $200, and your goal is to correctly call high-low across that bottom row with the next 3 cards. Then we go up to the top, or to the second row, give you another $400 of betting money, and you got to go through those 3 cards. Betting as you wish. Minimum bets are 50 until you get to the big bet, where you have to bet at least half of your money. And of course, you can change 1 card per row with one of the spare cards on the left side of the board. So with that being said, let's go ahead and deal the cards. Here's $200 of betting money, and let's get to it. Starting off with your opening base card, you start you off with a 6.
Oh boy, get rid of that 6, please.
All right, with which card would you like to change it with?
Number 1.
All right, using the 1, so 1 change per row, the 6 goes away. And we replace it with a 9. Wow, how ironic.
Yeah. You know what? No guts, no glory. Everything lower.
All 200, lower than the 9. It's a 6.
Okay.
All right, so you're now up to $400, and you have a 6 that you have to keep.
Okay. I'm gonna play a bit more safe on this one. $100 higher.
All right, $100 higher than the 6. No, it's a 5, but you were right to bet conservative. $300 and a 5.
All right. 200 higher.
All right, going $200 higher than the 5. It's a 7. Alright. You have $500, but we move that 7 up to the second row, give you another $400, so you have $900 now, and a 7 that you can change.
Which I will change. Spirit card number 3.
Alright, the 7 goes away, and we replace it with a 10.
Hey. 300 lower.
Alright, $300 lower than the 10. It's a deuce!
Excellent! 1,200 higher.
Alright, you cannot lose on this one. All $1,200 higher than the 2. It's a 4. You're up to $2,400 now.
Alright, $1,600 higher.
Alright, $1,600 higher than the 4. It's a king. Alright, Mark, you have $4,000. We move that king up to the top row. You have to bet at least $2,000, but you can bet more. And you can change it if you wish. What's your big bet on this king?
Keeping that king, all 4,000 lower.
Alright, Mark, good luck. You will have either absolutely nothing or $8,000. If this next card is lower than the king... No, it's an ace! You busted!
Oh.
Mark, I am so sorry. The one card that could have hurt you, and I am afraid you have won absolutely nothing. And I hate to say this, but you are now the second person on this season to bust on the money cards.
And that's a favorable card, too.
The first, of course, our first one being Chris Rahman, but man... Mark, I am sorry. This time around, you pick up no money on the money cards, but you are still the champion. You have $2,000. We're going to go ahead and take another commercial break, but when we come back, Mark will be facing his next challenger as he goes for his second win. We'll be right back after this here on Card Sharks. My goodness. Welcome back to Card Sharks. We're here with our champion Mark, who unfortunately had a big heartbreaker in the money cards with the one card that could have hurt him in the big bet, and it ended up coming up. So Mark unable to pick up anything there, but still has $2,000. And Mark, we gotta keep your you are hoping to keep your championship going. You ready to meet your next challengers to go for win number 2?
Let's do it.
All right, let's just go ahead and shake that off and welcome him in. This is also his first time on our show. Got a pair of new contestants for this episode. Let's welcome in Mr. Davion Baker.
Hi, how are you?
Doing all right, Davion. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a bit about yourself?
Just to keep it short and sweet, I'm a college student, live in Jamaica, love game shows, wrestling, and Dungeons and Dragons, to say.
Alright, well, you saw what unfolded in the last game here with Mark. Ready to try to take him down?
Mark is a good player. I have to agree with that. It's gonna be a fun game to play.
Alright, well, best luck to the both of you. Of course, we know how this game is played, so we're gonna get right into it with our first round and our first question. And Mark, this one goes to you. Mark, we asked 100 mail carriers. Do you hate houses that do a lot of online shopping? How many said yes?
Ooh. On shopping. Alright. For the sake of time here, I'm just gonna keep this short and sweet, just straight up give my answers here. 55.
Alright, he says 55 out of 100 hate that. Davion, higher or lower than 55?
Let's try lower for this one.
Alright, he says lower than that. The actual number of mail carriers who hate houses that do a lot of online shopping is 32. It is lower. Alright, so Davion, you've got control of the cards for the first time, and let's see what your opening base card is. You have a king.
Good card. Hopefully, well, I will not go to the details. But let's just go lower.
Lower than the king? Oh my god!
I was afraid that was gonna
Oh
happen.
man, an ace just came up and ruined it all once again. That has been ending everybody so far this game. My goodness. So no progress is made, and that means Mark gets a free chance to play off his base card of an 8.
You dirty snowman, you. Lower.
Lower than the 8? No, it's a jack. Nobody makes any progress there. All right, on we go to our second question, and Davion, this one goes to you.
All right.
Another player percentages question on this one, Davion. Here it is. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, what percent of Florida residents are age 65 and older?
Ooh. I'll go 40%.
All right, he says 40%. Mark, higher or lower than 40?
Higher than that.
Says even higher. All right. According to the census, the actual percentage of Florida residents that are age 65 and older is 20%. It is not higher.
Not that.
All right, so Davion gets control once again, and you have that king.
Lower.
Lower than the king? This time it works. It's a 9.
Not a good card. I'll freeze on that.
All right, freezing it right there, taking the 1-card lead and keeping Mark away from his cards. Bringing us right over to question number 3. And Mark, we are back to you for this one. All right, Mark, we asked 100 men, are you a good kisser? How many said that they are?
Oh, God. 63.
All right, he says 63 out of 100 think that they are good kissers. Davion, higher or lower than 63?
All I can say, Jose, ego. I'll go higher on that.
All right, he says higher. The actual number of men who do believe that they are good kissers is 83. It is higher. All right, Davion, you have been getting control this entire game so far, and you have that 9.
Change the card, please.
Changing it, the 9 goes away, and we replace it with a deuce.
Nice. Let's go higher.
Higher than the 2, it's a 3.
Let's go higher again.
Higher than the 3, it's a 4.
Let's go higher than that.
For game number 1 and $1,000, higher than the 4, it's a 6. He's done it. Nicely done, Davion. You pick up $1,000, and you are up 1-0 so far.
Thank you.
But of course, it takes 2-round wins to win a match. So Mark, you can still get yourself into this. Let's go ahead and get the board set up for a second round. All right, new round, and our first question goes to our challenger. In this case, being Davion. All right, Davion, here we go. Davion, we asked 100 police officers. Tell the truth. When you're in a bad mood, do you give out more tickets? How many police officers said that they do?
I can see that as a possible thing to do. But how much would they do it? I'll go 35 of them.
All right, he says 35 out of 100 would do that. Mark, higher or lower than 35?
Higher.
All right, he says higher than that. The actual number of police officers who, when they're in a bad mood, do give out more tickets is only 8. It is not higher.
Ow. Okay.
Even when they're in a bad mood, they still have to follow the rules, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Davion, you are going to get control first. And let's see what your opening base card is. It's a 6.
It's not a good card, but it's not a bad card. But I will change it anyway.
Alright, changing it, the 6 goes away, and we replace it with an ace!
No, that's a good card. Let's go lower.
Going lower than the ace, it's a 3.
Okay, let's go higher.
Higher than the 3, it's a jack.
Let's go lower.
Going on, lower than the jack. No, it's an ace, and unfortunately, Davion, you lose all 3 of those cards and go right back to the base card. And that means Mark gets a free chance to play off his base card of a jack.
Wow. I feel for you there, Davion. Lower.
Lower than the jack? No, it's another jack!
Are you kidding
Oh,
me?
man, nobody makes any progress at all. Oh, man. Brings us now to our second question of the round, and Mark, this one is yours. Ooh, this may be an evil one here. Mark, we asked 100 parents. On Halloween, have you ever driven your children to a fancy neighborhood so they could get better candy? How many admitted that they had?
That's probably their way of saying, here, just take our kids for the night. 82.
He says 82 out of 100 have done this. Davion, higher or lower than 82?
All I can say, I could see that, but I want to see those kind of parents as cool as, you know. I'll try lower on this one.
Says lower than that. Alright, the actual number of parents who on Halloween have driven their children to a fancy neighborhood so they could get better candy is 19. It is way lower. They're probably just grateful for what they have. But anyways, Davion, you've got control and you have that ace.
Well, started from the bottom and now we're here. Let's go lower again.
Lower than the ace. It's a 10.
It's not the good card to be. I'll freeze on that.
Alright, freezing it right there, taking the 1 card advantage and keeping Mark away from his cards. Alright, moving on now to our third question of the round. And Davion, this one is for you.
Okay.
Alright, a bit of a long one here, Davion, so pay attention. We asked 100 single women, Davion, would you agree to get married if you knew you'd be deliriously happy for 5 years but would end up getting a divorce? How many said that they would get married anyway?
Hey. Well, it's a good thing you put that, especially the last one. The divorce thing, nobody don't want to face with a divorce. So with that thing, for 5 years, I think it's a low amount. I'll go with 10 of the lady.
Says 10 out of 100. Alright. Mark, higher or lower than 10?
A little bit higher.
Says higher than that. Alright, the actual number of single women who, if they knew they would agree to get married, they'd be deliriously happy for 5 years but would end up getting a divorce, is 68. It is way higher.
Wow.
Alright, so the champion finally gets control and you have a jack.
Time to get back into this. Lower.
Lower than the jack, it's a 7.
And we are going to stop right there.
You were all hyped up going into it, and then you saw the 7 and you were like, nope, that's where I'm stopping.
More like the board saying, yeah, no, nice try, sir.
Well, anyways, you have now tied up the match. You both need 3 cards to win. However, that puts us in a very interesting situation as we are now at our 4th and final question. It is sudden death, so once again, somebody's got to win on this next play of the cards. Mark, the question goes to you. Oh boy. Mark, we asked 100 people, if you overslept on your first day at a new job, would you lie about why you were late? How many said that they would?
Oh boy. Well, it's never good to be late on the first day of a new job. Mainly because you only get 1 chance to make a first impression. So, best to not blow it. 52.
Alright, he says 52 out of 100. Davion, higher or lower than 52?
I agree everything about Mark on that one. But to lie for that, I'll go lower for this one.
Alright, he says lower than that. For all important control of the cards, the actual number of people who, if they overslept on their first day at a new job, they would lie about why they were late is 58. It is not lower.
Ooh.
Mark was in the ballpark with that one, but he's got the decision. Alright, so Mark, you have a 7. Davion has a 10. You can change the 7 if you decide to go for it, but both of you would need 3 cards to win. What is your decision?
Alright. Well, playing worked for me the last time, so I'm gonna do it again. However, I'm gonna change the 7.
Alright, taking matters into his own hands, an all-important change here. The 7 goes away, and we replace it with a 5.
Alright. So I'm gonna call all 3 of those. Davion, whatever happens, good game. Higher.
Higher than the 5? It's an ace.
Lower.
Lower than the ace. It's a 3.
Higher.
To tie up the match and pick up another $1,000 higher than the 3? It's a 6. We have a tie game.
There we go.
Alright, Mark, you've tied up the match at 1 apiece. You pick up another $1,000, so you're up to $3,000 for your championship total. But once again, we're going to have to decide this game through a tiebreaker round. So let's go ahead and get the board ready for it. Once again, 3 cards and only 1 question. The champion always gets the question of the tiebreaker, so Mark, this one goes to you.
Okay.
Alright, here it is. Mark, we asked 100 third graders. Who do you think are happier, children or grown-ups? How many of those third graders said that children are happier?
Yeah, I think generally the consensus is children tend to be more happy because they seem to like school better than teachers do. 65.
Alright, he says 65 out of 100 do believe that children are happier. Davion, higher or lower than 65?
It's gonna be a rough one. It could be close. I'm gonna be a little bit lower on that.
Let's say lower. Alright, for all important control of the cards, the actual number of third graders who believe that children are happier than grown-ups is 77. It is not lower. Alright, Mark, you've got control, you've got the choice, so we're going to start by revealing both of your base cards, starting with Davion's. He has a 10, and you have a 3.
Okay. I'm gonna play my 3 and go higher.
Alright, taking control himself, going higher than the 3. It's an ace!
Lower.
To pick up his second win and remain the champion with another $1,000, lower than the ace, it's a 7. He's done it again! What a comeback, Mark. Well done. Another $1,000 coming your way. You're going to be going back to the money cards to try to redeem yourself with $4,000. We're going to see if you can get that deserved redemption in just a moment. Davion, you gave it a valiant effort there, sir. It just unfortunately didn't work out. Mark had the power to come back there at the end. Did you still have fun with us, though?
Hey, I have fun, and at least I won 1 game, so I'm good with that.
Yep, you're not leaving out of here empty-handed. For winning that round, you do get to keep the $1,000. But we hopefully look forward to having you back on a future episode.
Good luck on the money cards tomorrow.
All right, that is Davion Baker, and Mark, you have done it again. Your second win, $4,000 total. But when we come back, you're going to be going back to the money cards to see if you can redeem yourself after that unfortunate heartbreaker on the last attempt. We will see how he does right after this here on Card Sharks. Stay with us. Welcome back to Card Sharks. We're here with our now 2-time champion, Mark Leota. Picked up his second win in an incredible comeback. You now have $4,000 for your season total, but now, Mark, it is time for you to get some redemption after what happened on the last attempt. You ready to go back at it?
Let's do it. Hopefully I can win something this time.
All right, let's go back to the money cards. We're just going to get right into it. Here's your $200. And let's get you some redemption. Here's your opening base card. We start you off with a 10.
We're doing this again. Spare card number 2, please.
All right, using the 1 change per row he's entitled to, the 10 goes away, and we replace it with a queen.
All 200 lower.
$200 lower than the queen. No, it's an ace!
Oh.
Once again, the ace kicks you there, but thankfully it was at the beginning and not the end. We do still move that ace up to the second row, give you $400 back, and you have a card you can't lose on.
Oh, that's true. 400 lower.
All $400 lower than the ace. It's a 6. There you go. You're up to 800 now.
Spare card number 3.
All right, changing it, the 6 goes away, and we replace it with a 7.
Oh, 200 higher.
$200 higher than the 7. It's a 9. You're up to 1,000 now.
You know what? All 1,000 lower. No, actually, wait a minute. Let me change that. I can change that. You haven't locked it in yet.
Yeah, it hasn't been locked in.
Okay, yeah, 'cause I'm just realizing what the card is, so I should probably be a bit more conservative. 200 lower.
Wow, have you not been listening to what I've been saying? My goodness. But anyways, $200, betting conservative, lower than the 9. It's a 3. All right, Mark, you're now up to $1,200. We move that 3 up to the final row. You have to bet at least $600, but you can bet more. What's your big bet on this 3?
1,200 higher.
He's doing it again. All right, so you'll either have absolutely nothing or $2,400. If this next card is higher than the 3, are you kidding me? A 2! And that is now the second time that you busted. Oh my goodness. Oh man. I can't even... You can't script this, folks. I mean, you are seeing this along with us, and I bet you're just as shocked as we are right now, but man, that is incredible. Back-to-back money card rounds with busts.
Favorable cards both times, I might add.
He's now been terminated on both ends of the spectrum. Mark, I am sorry. I wish we could give you even the slightest of fortunes, but we can't even give you anything because you busted again. Man, and that's unfortunately we're gonna have to end it off, but Mark, shake it off. You're still the champion. You have $4,000 and you're gonna be back with us on our next show to defend your title.
Okay.
But folks, that is gonna wrap up what has been a heartbreaking episode here of Card Sharks. Thank you so much for joining us, and until next time when the cards come shuffling our way once again, and hopefully they're a bit nicer to our players, my goodness. I'm your host, Jose Casas. For all of us here at Sleepy Time Studios and the MVG Networks, we'll see you next time for more of Card Sharks. Good night, everybody.